Welcome back. Have you filed your state and federal income taxes yet? They are due April 15th this year. Joining me to talk about state income taxes is John Biello. He's Deputy Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So people, if they haven't filed yet, TikTok, right? And people on this Sunday morning, they're trying to relax and enjoy their coffee and read the paper, and we got to stress them out about their taxes, John. But it's just something that has to get done, and that deadline's coming quick. What do you want people to know?
It does, and the clock is ticking. Like you said, we've got a couple more weeks left. The deadline is April 15th. What we would like people to know is that the agency's here to help. We've got people on staff. We've got the best staff in state government back at our agency that's here to help, here to answer calls. We do about 1,400 calls a day, and our crew is just great at assisting taxpayers with any questions that they might have regarding their state income tax return and getting that return filed on time.
And electronic filing is something you guys are encouraging?
Absolutely. Electronic filing is by far the best way to go. It's the quickest, the easiest, the most secure way to file the return. And what we find is that it is certainly the way to go in terms of the least amount of errors. An electronically filed return comes in, and it's usually pretty accurate upon filing. So we always encourage electronic filing.
You talked about secure, and of course security is an important thing. Tell me about the security, both of that system, but also you want people to be on the lookout for fraud as well, right?
Absolutely. This time of year, it stresses people out with filing returns, but they should also be concerned with the actual scammers that are out there. This time of year, they're running rampant in terms of trying to gather people's data, get refunds that don't belong to them. So taxpayers should really protect their data, make sure they're using a reputable preparer, secure that data, make sure that that preparer has a secure system that they're using to file their tax returns.
Tell me about the refund protection program, because that's something that if people are waiting for that check to come, or maybe somebody else already tried to cash in, how does that work and why is it important?
That's a great question, and it's our refund protection program at the department is one of the most secure in the country. Connecticut prides itself as being a leader when it comes to protecting taxpayers' refunds. It may cause a little bit of a delay in taxpayers getting their refund, but we go to great lengths to make sure that that refund gets into the right hands. We have a whole team, a fraud team back at our agency that looks at every single refund that comes through, and they're screened to make sure that they're in fact getting into the right hands.
So just a little bit of extra assurance.
A little bit of extra assurance, a little bit more time, but we're comfortable that the state is giving the refund to the right person.
Which I'm sure that person will be happy about.
Absolutely.
Tell me about, even though we have a couple weeks, not everyone's a procrastinator. You've already got 1 million returns in. Can you tell us anything about what you've seen so far? So
far, it's been pretty typical. We've got about 1 million returns in, like you said. Almost 96% of those returns are all electronically filed, which is great. It's the most efficient way for us to handle those returns, cost-effective for state government, and we're getting the refunds out to taxpayers quicker through the electronic filing. So pretty typical, about 1 million returns, like you said. We usually get about 1.7 million, so we're gearing up for that rush, that last-minute rush of the remaining 700,000 or so returns that should come in between now and April 15th.
Now, do you said you've been doing this for 30 years, so you've got a little bit of experience at DRS. It's that stereotypical thing, people waiting till the last minute, but is it a reality in your business that do the calls go up, do the complicated questions go up as you get closer to that deadline?
Absolutely. It's just the nature of the beast. As we get closer to April 15th, the calls do go up. We do about 1,400 a day. That number will start to rise as we get closer to the 15th. And to prepare for that, we've got staff that will be on site answering phones until 6 o'clock for the last 3 to 4 days, heading up to the 15th. We also have staff that are there for walk-in help. So if a taxpayer has a need to walk into our office on the 15th, we'll be there until 6 o'clock. So they can actually come into 450 Columbus Boulevard in Hartford, and there'll be people there to assist.
An actual human being.
Yes. Yes.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Also, away from the human beings, a lot of online resources you want people to know about as well, right?
Yes. We have an online portal called MyConnect, which is fairly new. It's been operational for about 2 years now, 2 to 3 years for personal income tax. And the nice part about MyConnect is that a taxpayer can go in and manage their account. They could see the returns that have been filed. They could see the payments that have been made. Any correspondence that they may have received will be there. They can actually send the department messages, so they don't have to wait on the phones for a live person to answer. They can send us a message through their account in MyConnect. So a really robust and really up-to-date piece of technology that the department has.
Tell me what you're looking at. I asked you when you walked into the studio about stuff that's new, and you said, well, next year.
Yeah.
So tell me, there's some new things, but I don't want to, you love the tax stuff. I don't know if all our viewers do. But tell us, there's some big stuff coming for next year that we should already maybe highlight.
Yeah, there definitely is. This year, for 2024, there wasn't much in the way of legislation, pretty routine. But for 2025, Governor Lamont and his administration really championed the largest tax cuts in state history. So we'll see those starting this year in 2025. They became effective January 1. So when taxpayers go to file their returns next year, they should see a real benefit in lower state income taxes.
Only about 30 seconds left, but we've seen so many headlines out of Washington about changes at the IRS and the Trump administration making all sorts of cuts and changes and rollbacks. Does that have any effect on DRS or on the Connecticut tax collection system? Not really. It doesn't really have much of an effect on our administration of Connecticut tax law. We do share a lot of data with the IRS. So we're anticipating or gearing up for the fact that maybe it'll be a little longer, maybe that process will be a little slower, but from an operational perspective, really no impact at this point. All right, John Biello, Deputy Commissioner, thanks so much for being with us. And as we said at the beginning, TikTok, people get those hopefully electronic returns filed. Thanks for giving us all the information. Thanks for having me. If you want to head to the DRS website, it's drs.ct.e/. Let me try this again. drs.ct.gov/eservices. That's where you can find it. That's what John was talking about, all those resources there. If you're an individual needing help filing your taxes, the State Department of Revenue Services is hosting a webinar. That's next Wednesday, April 2nd at 10 a.m. You can sign up for that through that same website, drs.ct.gov/eservices. They'll be answering questions and demonstrating how to file online.